having you learn more about Python. Joining us for the first time. Thank you as well. Welcome, everyone. So let's get started. All right, before we move on, and to those who are joining us for the first time in this workshop series, just a little bit about the IET USM on Campus Society. So IET is a organization, engineering society actually, based in the UK that is dedicated to spreading knowledge on engineering and technology. It dates back to the 20th century, so long before we were born. Have charters all over the world, which are dedicated to spreading information about STEM, spreading knowledge about STEM all over the world, wherever they are. So we are representing IET in USM to spread that knowledge as best as possible. Right. Our speaker for today is Nala Durgash. He is a third-year mechatronics engineering student who has vast experience in different programming languages, as well as creating and working on projects. He is an enthusiastic person who loves taking on challenges, especially programming challenges and projects. He likes to pick his brain, make sure he gets to the end goal of the programming project. So he is the best option we have today to teach you about Python and the complexities of Python. And can't wait to pass over the floor to Nala. So without further ado, Nala, the floor is yours.
Thanks for the good introduction, Sean. Thank you very much. And hello, everyone. So how are you guys today? And welcome to Python Intermediate Workshop. And today we are going to learn some of the new concepts that you guys didn't learn in the Python beginner workshop. So I believe that you guys have prerequisite knowledge, like how to print variables, how to create, how to print strings, how to print integer, how to convert integer to string, how to convert string to integer, and how to create, how to convert float to integer and everything. And also a little bit knowledge in if else, and yeah, that will work for this workshop. And I'll just present my screen. And before that, I've sent you guys the module for today in WhatsApp group, so you guys can have access to that and can follow through the module. If I very fast teaching you the concept, then you guys can catch up using the module. But for explanation, I didn't give any explanation in the module. So if you guys need explanation, so please be focused during this workshop. Okay, that's all from me. I'll just start sharing my screen. So I believe everyone here already has the Python IDE, Integrated Development Environment. And if you guys don't have any IDE for Python or anything, you guys can use IDE from online. So just search for Python online IDE, and then you guys can get. And this is the interface for Python, as you guys know before this. And then if you click this project, you guys can have a look all the 5 steps involved for this project. And just click over here, hover your mouse to this Python Day 2 workshop, and then right click, new, click file. And then the first thing that we're going to do today is to learn import. So what exactly is import and how import works in Python? And we will import certain libraries from that is written by other developers for our project. So before we really do that import libraries into our project, we need to really fundamentally understand how import works in Python. So for that, I'll just name it main.py. So I just want to save space, so I'll just turn off this project bar. The first thing that we're going to do is uh, to create another Python file so that we can import that particular file into our main project. So I'll create another file. So this will be main module or my module. My module.py. And here we'll just create a variable called pi. So pi is, I believe, 3.142. Yes. And save that particular file. Python is a little bit annoying when you don't create a correct space, when you don't make correct indentation for your uh, coding. So just hover your mouse over here and then look for the problem and try to solve it. And now we come to here and then, so now we want to import a module called my module into our main project. So we'll just say import my module. So as you guys can see, PyCharm already suggesting there's a module called my module. So just that. And then what we're going to do is bring uh, bring this pi value into our main project. So that's how you want to access the pi variable to import my module. So what we're going to do is uh, just type. The first thing that we want to do is we want to access that module. So my module dot pi, and just click over here and then fine. So you can get the output 3.142. So I'll just explain the process one more time. What we did is we created a module, another Python for file, and then we created a variable. Now we want to use that particular variable into our project. So what we did is we import that my module and then create it that way. So this is how my import module works in Python. Just as a rough and simple explanation regarding uh, module. And then now we'll move forward to our next concept called randomization. So why we need random? Can anyone here uh, tell why do we want to have random randomization in our program? So the reason is sometimes you want to create a project called rock paper scissors project or uh, any project, and then you want the computer to play that game. So what we also we don't want to implement a complex algorithm for for the computer to print certain choices. So how we do it? We just import the random module and then we start building the uh, uh, our algorithm based on that, and then let the computer choose the particular choice by itself. Okay. So what we so since we are going to learn about about randomization, we just import a file called random. Uh, so this is just a library called random, and then we just import that random library in our main project so that we can have access to whatever variable or functions that they have created for this thing. And then if you want to have a look and know better about this random module, you guys can find for the source on the internet and learn from that how they have implemented all the algorithm to have a randomization, like pick random element, pick random sample, pick weighted random sample error. So all these algorithm they have implemented to make the module, and then we're just using it for our project. So that's all about the report. Then first thing that we want to practice is let's just create a variable called random integer is equal to, and we want to have every time we run the program, we want to have a different value to store in that random integer. So can you guys understand? So what we do is we access the random library, and then inside that random library we have a function called random integer. And then this random integer function receives two arguments. So first is from which number we want to start. So assume I want to start from number 1 until 10, for example. So what this function will do is from number 1 until 10, it will simply pick a number and then it will store into this random integer. And then now we want to see that number, just print random integer. Okay. We'll just run it. So that's 1. Then every time I run, there will be a new number. Okay. So just click on comment or that's all about now. And then now we will move on to how to create a random float. For example, random. So what we do is create a new variable called random float is equal to random no, random. So, so now what this function from random module will do is it will create a random, it will generate a random. Any question? If you guys have any question, you guys can type in the chat box and I will have a look on it later after the workshop. I don't want to interrupt in the middle of the workshop. So yeah, host have a look on that. Yeah. So what this function from this model will do is it will generate a random float numbers and then it will store into the random float variable, and then now it will just printing out. So if you guys realize the number generated from this random function is will not exceed more than 1. Guys. So the main function of this random function is it will just generate float number from 0.00 until 0.99. So just for note, just like 0.00 0.99. So what if you want to create a number more that exceeds more than 1, like 5.94 or 5.67 or 6.39 or 7.77, like that. So we'll just multiply that random to that number. That's it. So for example, random dot float underscore 2 is equal to random. Then we'll just multiply. Let's say we want to play until 5. So we'll just times by 5. Just bring that variable. guys can see, can have a look over here. So yeah, and that's all about random. So we have covered two topics right now. One is import and one is randomization. How to create random integers and random float. And then there's you guys cannot really create a random strings. So if you want to make some kind of that, you guys have to create a list that we will go through right now, and then we'll just random the strings using index. And then to have an index, you have to create a number, integers, and everything. Yeah, that's all about randomization and import. If you guys have any question, you can type in the chat box. I'll wait for 2 minutes or 1 minute. If no, then I'll just proceed to the next topic, which is list. So I assume there's no question. Okay. Then we'll just continue with the next topic, which is list. So what is list? So before this, you guys learn about variables. What variable do is, let's say you have a cup and then you want to pour a juice into that variable, or you want to put a thing, only one thing in that cup. But let's say we have a set of one type of object, but then you want to group that object into a variable, some sort of like that. For example, you want to uh, or store a juice into a container like that. But then you have a lot of juices like orange juice, apple juice, strawberry juice, like that. So you want to put all the juices into a category called juice. So I hope you guys can understand that real life example that I've told you guys right now. And so just go to the syntax and explain more about that. So for example, let's see we have, so Malaysia, we have a lot of states, right? Kedah, Perak, Terengganu, and everything. So we want to store all the states into a general list called states of Malaysia. So states, Malaysia, and then if you want to create list, the first thing that you guys need to do is to have a square bracket, and then inside square bracket want to store state. So we'll just have a, so since you want to say name of the state into the states Malaysia list, you guys going to use the data type called string. So we'll have inverted comma, I don't know about that. The double quote. Yeah, the double quote. Then just write under that. So first we have for list. Then have data. Then have data. Then have data on, and so on. So I'll just copy and paste from my notes here to save some time. So these are the states in Malaysia, and then we have stored all the states into a list called states Malaysia. So this list is the same principle like array. If you guys have learned different programming language before this, like C++ or C#, something like that, in that programming language we call list as array, and in Python we call them as list. So just the same concept. And then if we want to print the first value in the states of Malaysia, just we need to know the index value of this particular place. So in programming, the first number is always 0. So the first index number for per list we call as the first index number for per list is 0. So just say print states Malaysia and then 0. Why 0? Because the index value of per list is 0. And in programming, the first number is always 0. So the first value will be 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 13 elements, but then the index value is from 0 until 12. I hope you guys can understand that. And then I'll just run this program. So yes, we can print the first data of our list and in the first index. So now we'll just start states Malaysia, and then we'll just we want to print the next value, which is Kedah. So print states Malaysia and one Kedah. So yeah, and I can retrieve this. Oh. So per list Kedah, Perak, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan. You're able to print the values in the list. Once you can print the value, it means that you can retrieve the data from a list. That means you can work on that uh, data using if else concept or for loop concept. That's all about it. So if you want to debug your program, the first thing that you need to do is you must need to know you are if you're able to retrieve the data or not. If you guys can retrieve the data successfully by moving it by printing the value, then you guys can uh, work on it using different principles like know what you can do with that data, what you can do with this data and everything. So if you're able to print a value, that means uh, you're achieving something in your programming, some sort of like that. And let's say you want to print value from backwards. So what we'll do is print states ratio and then square bracket -1. So yeah, we'll open up. So if you put -2, will be Sarawak. So Sarawak. So what if I put -12? So we are counting from behind. Oh, okay, sorry, -13. Yeah, because we didn't start from 0 here. We started from -1. So if you want to see print the value, at least we need to put -13. Yes, at least. The reason because we started here from -1. So there's no negative number for 0. So we'll just start from -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 13, and we are able to print out value for per list. So yeah, that's all about that. And let's say you want to change uh Sarawak. Uh, for example, you want to add one more state in for Malaysia. So what we do? States Malaysia dot pen. A pen means we are adding another value to the list. So what we going to do? Singapore, for example. Okay, we just append the value, but then we didn't print it out. So print out the list to see if Singapore already added or not. Yes, so you guys can see Singapore is added into the list of states of Malaysia. Yeah, that's a little bit introduction about list. We'll explore more when we do the project called rock paper scissors. So for now, you need to really understand what is list in Python. So that's all for what list. So do you guys have any question on that? I'll wait 2 minutes and if no, we'll just continue. So I assume there's no question. Okay, if I wanna wait, uh, I couldn't really see the chat. Can someone read the question? Host or Sean, can you read the question?
Okay, so the question is from Chow Johnson. So he asked if the added one, does it involve with the count?
Added one, does it involve with count? Which one do you mean? Can you open your mic and ask? Because I don't understand the question.
Like for example, if you put print state Malaysia bracket the number, does it include the number inside?
Square bracket.
Let's say maybe what after the Pulau Pinang, maybe let me count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12,
Or you want to put
14. Like
13 and C.
yeah,
If okay, 14 or
yeah.
20, let's just put 20. What? Yeah, let's see what the Python interpreter response to us. So the error is least index out of range. So usually what the programmers will do is, let's say you have a list of data into a list, and then you want first thing that you want to identify is you want to know the length of states of Malaysia. So what? So I'll just erase this. So let's create a length states is equal to, and then I'll use a function called length, and then we'll say states Malaysia. So what this thing do is length states Malaysia. You can check the length of uh, list, and then it will store this value into the variable. And just say print. So it says there's 13 elements in the list. So usually you want to, this is how you want to know the list of your list, and then you want to avoid by giving multiple, not to say multiple, by giving values that exceeds the value of length of the list. So later we'll learn how we can use that in for loops to avoid by knowing this length stage. So I hope you can understand. Chow,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
So thank you. Yes.
One more question is when you append another additional name inside the
Okay.
list, right? Does the
Yes.
append affect the length?
Yes, it will affect the length. So imagine, uh, so how Python reads the program, it will read start until the end, line by line. Okay.
Uh,
So when you check a length states over here, and then after this you want to add states Malaysia dot append, then you want to say Singapore. Okay. After this, you want to bring this states of Malaysia. Okay, let's run this program. Okay, you see there's 13, and then Singapore is already added. So I'll just bring one more time states of Malaysia over here. So did you see? So first we have 13 elements in the list, and then we have printed out list. And now, as you said, we have already append a new value, but the length states will not change because we didn't how to say check for the length of state of Malaysia after we append the Singapore. So let's say if I print the 7, 10, 6, 10, 128. See, it will still show 30. So when you append something, you will also again need to check for the length of the state measure, and then you need to store the length states into the old variable. So what we do is still we append. We do this one more time. So now we have 14. So usually how you need to think is Python reads from the first line until the last line. So you need to check, okay, if this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, does this will affect the code or not? Like that. So can you guys understand on that? Chao? Did I
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
your
Yeah, that yeah, that's very clear. Okay, thank you.
okay? Okay. Thanks. So if any other question, you guys can put in the chat box. So I assume there's no question. So we'll just move on to the next session, not next part, which is so I will say this. Since I already teach how to check for the length of the list, now I'll just say I'll just introduce another concept called nested list. Nested list. And from here, we want to create a 2D list, like 2D array. And then we will have a coordinate to check for the particular value. So for example, let's say we have, I'll just bring two arrays. I just want to save time. So, okay, for example, we have fruits and vegetables. And I want to say, what to say, healthy, healthy food. I want to create a nested list, right? So a 2D list. So we create this, and we put that fruits and vegetables into this. Okay. So what we're doing is we take this whole list that we are putting into this another list. We take this another list and then we are putting into the another list. So which will create a 2D kind of things. Okay, because we have 1, 2, and then you have X line and then Y. When you want to read a particular list from healthy food, you need to tell the coordinate some sort of like that. Okay, I just run this. Then just print this value. Print healthy food. Okay, can you guys see? So first it printed out the fruits and then it printed out the vegetables and then all of these called uh, a list called healthy food. Assuming that you want to read print the strawberry value, what how do you do? So you just print healthy food 0 and 0. What do you think it will say? Strawberries. So can you guys understand this part? So what we're doing is we are just telling the coordinate of this as not daily coordinate, but then if you understand in a way that we are telling the coordinate, you guys can understand better to tell which list are we going to tell to print out. So for example, strawberry is in the first from fruits. So we just say 0 in fruits. And then in vegetable also it will be in fruits because I'll just explain this. Okay. Okay, now what is the coordinate of this? 0, 0, because it's in position 1. And then what is the coordinate of this? 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. And then this is uh, 0, 1, 1, 0, sorry, 1, 0, like that. So just put all the nested keys into here and then look for the coordinate and then just print that value. Hope I made you guys understand. Yeah, that's all about nested list. Nested list usually we will use if you want to do a very complex programming, but today we are not going to use it. So if you guys have time, you guys can explore more about nested list in YouTube and start reading the documentation behind how nested lists work and how we can implement that concept in our project. So that's all about that. Now I think I have around uh, 10 to 15 minutes and we'll build a new project, a project called Rock, Paper, Scissors game. So we'll just take a few, maybe around 15 minutes to explain the whole uh, logic behind the project. So I'll just name it Rock, Paper, Scissors dot py. Every time if you want to create a new Python file, you guys have to add the extension called .py. Okay. And before that, I want to demonstrate the game. So what I will do is, okay, before that, let's say when you create a project and this is the file, this is the folder of the directory of the project. Okay. Then we go to Python data module. This is the codes. Let's say, for example, codes that we have created for project and everything. So how do you want to uh, see or execute the particular Python file into your command line? Command line. So what you guys can do is you guys go to the directory and then click over here and then just say CMD. Okay, just type CMD and then enter. You guys can start executing all these uh, Python files into command line. Okay, for example, so we created uh, main.py. So what we'll do is just say Python because we want to invoke Python interpreter for you to execute your file in this main.py. So these are the values that we have printed in the console. Okay, so just say yes. So now I'm going to demonstrate the rock paper scissors again. So Python dot rock paper. Okay, when you run the game, the first thing that you will ask is what do you choose? Type 0 for rock, 1 for paper, 2 for scissors. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to choose is I want to choose paper. So I want to choose 1. And then when I enter, so I choose paper. And then computer also choose paper. So it's a draw. So understand? So we want to run one more time. And then what do you choose? Say I want to choose 0. Oh, computer also choose 0. Okay, let's do it one more time. Until computer win or I win, I want to choose 3. Huh? Oh, cannot see the screen. Oh, my bad, my bad. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Wait now. Stop. Can you guys see now? Okay. So sorry, my bad. Okay. I'll explain one more time. Okay, this is the directory of the project that we have created in the PyCharm. So go to that particular directory in your folder. If cannot, what you guys can do is project and then click right click, open in Explorer. Okay, and then you guys can see the directory. Okay, and now I'm going to demonstrate the project Python 2 module. So I hope you guys can still see the file. So and then click over here and then type cmd. When you type cmd, the command prompt will give the directory at that path, and then you guys can execute the project from there. Normally, if you open this command prompt, the directory is users.null my name. So you cannot execute any files because there's no Python interpreter working there. Some sort of like that. Just think that you cannot execute that file because there's no Python files in that directory. So what you need to do is you need to go to that directory and then execute the file from there. So here, cmd. So we are in the same directory. What I'll do is Python rock paper scissors.py. So usually what it will ask is, what do you choose? Type 0 for rock, 1 for paper, 2 for scissors. So I'm going to choose 2. So the project it first displayed what we choose. So user choose scissors and then computer will choose scissor. So it's a draw. So next thing I will do is I will choose 2 again. So again the computer choose 2. Okay, not bad. Choose 2 again. So we choose scissors, but the computer choose. Oh, there's mistake in the logic. Yeah. So we choose paper and then the computer choose scissor. So computer win. Some sort of like that. So I think the logic here is messed up because when computer choose rock and we choose scissor, the computer is supposed to win. So maybe we can rectify that error in our project. So before we start, I need to explain one more thing, which is ASCII art. So this is the art that we have used for our project, and this is called as ASCII art. So what is ASCII art? I just have a quick ASCII generators, and then we go here, and then just type your name, Nala. My name, Nala. Refresh. Then what I'll do is I'll just copy this, Control C, and go to your project. This is the project. Then if you want to display your ASCII art, what you need to do is print, and then put your art over here. Yeah, so there's mistake over here due to some uh, dash. So the Python interpreter mistakenly take this as an end of line. So that's why it got overrun. But then, so this is the ASCII art that you guys can create. So now, the ASCII art that we have for our project is these are the ASCII art we have for our project. One is rock, another one is paper, and another one is scissors. So sometimes you can create your own ASCII art, or else nowadays we have ChatGPT and everything, right? So just go to ChatGPT. Okay, I want a ASCII art of rock, ASCII art of paper, ASCII art of scissors, or just say, okay, I want to ASCII art of my name. This is the text. Can you make it into ASCII art? So ChatGPT, I'm not sure it will do or not, but you guys can try. And there's a lot of ASCII art generators also. So make use of that for your project, because now we are not doing graphical user interface project. So GUI we call it. So for that, we need to import some other libraries called Thinkitor and everything to create that project. Okay. So in this project, there's a library that we are going to use, which is import and random library, because we want the computer to choose rock paper scissors randomly. Like, so there must be a randomization for the computer to pick anything that he wants. Okay, because when you're playing, also you're just randomly or guessing randomly, uh, showing the what rock paper and scissors like. So that's how we do it. And then now we want to, since all these are the elements of the game, what we're going to do is we want to create a list for us to save that rock paper scissors into a list. So we'll just say game random equal to uh, rock paper scissors. Okay, so uh, Python. So what we did is we created ASCII art, and then so if possible, uh, so since you guys don't have the ASCII art, right, what you guys can do is just make a string called rock, paper, and scissors, and then from there we'll just use it. So what we will do is this is also a string, but then it's in a ASCII art form. But then what you guys can do is to create another string called rock, and then another string called paper, and then another string called scissors. Just like that. One, scissors two is equal to, and then three scissors. Something like this. Since you guys don't have access to ASCII art, or create some other ASCII art if you can find it. And then next, we'll just continue our project. So, okay, now the computer need to select any of the list, any of the element. So we create another variable called computer select is equal to random dot. So how you want to access this each element, you want to make use of the thing called index. If you want to use index, what you need to generate, you need to generate integer numbers. If you want to generate integer numbers, what the function that you need to use, you need to use a random integer. So uh, sorry, rand int. So we want to say from 0 until R2. And then so far that's it. And then the user select. So when you guys let me, so there's a input from in the console. What do you choose? Type 0 for rock. So we want to do that here. So we want to create a variable called user select is equal to input. So and then what do you choose? Not like 0 for rock, 1 for paper, 2 scissors. If typed it correctly. So type 0 for rock, 1 for paper, or 2 for season. Okay. So now just display that print. So just like so, okay, what do we choose? Choose 0. display 0. But then you realize whenever we get the input from console, the data that we are receiving is not integer, it's a string. So we want to convert that string into an integer. So what we do is we do int we are making the input to an integer. So the user select will have integer. So if I play it, sorry, play run, pull up, run, sorry, 2. Okay. So that's all for that. And now what we want to do is we want to make the console to display the value in the game random in the console. We want to display that value. So if the user choose 0, the game, we need to display them the wrong. If the user choose 1, we need to display them the paper. If the user choose scissors, we need to display them the scissors. So how do we do that? So when I say also, I use the keyword if, right? So we just say if user select is equal to 0. So this, so I hope you guys can understand what is how we can work together with if and else and everything. And then we'll print the value called game random. And then from game random, if the user choose 0, we want to display this. So we just say we want to display this. So I hope you guys can understand this. It's easy, not difficult. Elif. So elif is else if. If not, if the user select 0, what are the other possibilities? So user select is equal to 1. And then print game random. Then we have 1. Okay. So this again. User select is equal, it's equal to 2. Then we want to print game random 2. Okay, let's test this. And we don't want to display this. If paper, one more time, 0. Okay. So we have successfully displayed the value that user choose into our console. So that's the first step, success. But then there's a question: what if the user select other than 0, 1, 2, 3? So we need to have a backup. Like that. So let's say else if the user type anything other from 0, 1, 2, we'll say print choose the correct value, and then whatever you want to throw some anger towards the user also can. Okay, that's no problem in it. So whatever your choice you want to print, just print it. So and I print 1, choose paper, and I print 2, choose scissors, and I type something else. Okay, for this you need to do a different method. That's a very advanced from here, because what happened is you cannot change this into a integer. So that's the error occurred over here. So for that we need to learn other concepts, but that's not enough over here. But for now, we're just solving the problem for numbers. So if I click other than 7, it will still say choose the correct value. Okay. Okay. So notice how I tackle this problem step by step. First, we needed variables or ASCII art for rock, paper, scissors. So we created that. Okay, settled. And then you want to put all the elements into game random. So you don't really have to put all of them into list. You can just say print rock, print paper, print scissors, doesn't matter. But then I just want to show how it will be easier for us. We want to gather everything into a list and start from there. Okay. And then it will also be easier when you create functions and everything and just make your code more organized. And then you want the computer to select a value. So computer select something. So and then we set a range. The computer can only choose 0, 1, 2. Computers, they just follow what we say. They are not like humans. Like sometimes the humans will just type whatever they want, right? And then our program crashed. But then we just instruct the computer to select something. And then we also made another variable for the user to input. So we created two input. So in one is the input from the computer, another one input from the user. And then we selected, we made comparison. If else, if the user choose this, it must display this. Okay, I hope you guys can understand that. And then what we do is just space. But then here, for instead of user select, we do computer select. Okay. Computer select. So computer will not do any mistake. So not that for a while. So choose one, two. You see, we choose two scissors. The computer also choose scissors. So here we need to have other user. So choose one. So user select, computer select. Okay. So that's all. So after this, what we need to do? We need to find the possibilities of the thing, and then we need to work on that. So what are the possible things that can happen? So I'll just say there can be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, like that, and then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and then we can have 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. And then if there's 0, 0, 1, 1, or 2, 2, then the game is drawn. So what we can say is uh, if user select is equal to computer select, so the it will print it's draw. Then okay, we can remove this. Okay, what are the other possibilities that we have? Okay, just say so select equal to 0, computer select is equal to 1. Okay, who wins? Okay, just repeat this. Sorry, it's supposed to be Alif. Sorry about that. So there are how many possibilities? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. So yeah, I think it's already 9. So these I don't want to continue. So you guys can put whatever you guys want. Maybe player win or computer win according to your own rock paper scissors rules, whatever. But this is the logic behind the rock paper scissors game. So what we did is first we want to know the created variable for computer select, and we created variable for user select, and then we just use that to compare with other values and then to display the particular uh, STR that we want to want. So that's for the session 1, and we will continue in 10 minutes. So you guys can digest whatever you guys want. And yeah, take a break. Thank you. I'll pass it to Sean.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Nala, for that first session. So yes, we will have a break before we continue with the next session. So take this time to review whatever you've learned so far. If you have any questions, please do drop it in the chat box or unmute your mic if you'd like to take this time to ask Nala some questions. Otherwise, we will see you in 10 minutes. That is about 9:12. Right, welcome back, everyone. In our second session of the day, pass the floor back to Nalap. What was yours?
Thank you, Sean. My testing 1, 2, 3. So can you hear me right? Okay, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, now we're going to learn how to use loops and how we can use loops and list together to make some interesting uh, project. Make an interesting project called password generator. So we're going to build a password generator. The first that we're going to do is how a loop works. What are the different type of loops can do in Python, and then we'll make use that loop for a project called password generator. And then if we have time, then we will learn about function and while loop. If no time, then I already given you guys the module. Hope you guys can learn from that, or there's internet and a lot of resources outside. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is click yeah, I haven't shared screen yet. Screen one. Okay. So can see, like, okay, project. So the first thing that we're going to do is click project, hover your mouse over here, and then right click new file, and then we say oops, file. What we're going to do? So I want to introduce uh, before I want to introduce loops to you guys, I just want to create a list called fruits. Is equal to, sorry, square bracket apple C C C mango maybe. Okay, and then enter. Before this, what we did is we want to print each value. Is it print and fruits 0. 0, 1, 2. Then let's just run this. Okay, we successfully printed all the elements inside the fruit list. So, and then we used the index called 0 for apple 0, for orange 1 and 2 and 3. And what if there's a lot of fruits, 100 fruits? Are you going to print each fruits by telling each zero, every time 0, and then print fruit 1, fruit 2 until 100? I don't think so. We are programmers and our main task is to automate tasks. But what if even we cannot automate a print for a fruit? So how are you going to automate all of the tasks? So that's where loops come in. The first type of loop that I'm going to introduce to you guys is for in loops. So for in loops, what we do is, so just make a comment. So if you want to comment multiple lines, just three double quotes, then you can already comment out multiple lines. So fruit, save the fruit in fruits. In fruit. Let's just underscore. what we actually did, we used for in loops, especially for Python. So in Python, if you want to do something, there's a loop called first loop, first type of loop called for in loop, where we can iterate through our list. So we just say for fruit in fruits. The fruits is the list that we have used to create a list. And then these fruit, you're just creating a variable, some sort of like that. So for every time there's a loop, the first element will store into the fruit, and then we are going to print that. So there's no necessary that you pay. There's no need for you to put fruit actually. The reason why we put fruit here is because to make our coding more readable, more understandable. But you can actually put whatever you want. You can put A, you can put B, you can put C. Let's say I put S, and then I run this program. Okay. Fruits. Sorry. C. So for in loop, for first loop, it will go into this list, and then it will look through the first element, and then it will store into the S, and then we will print S, and then it will continue plus one. The next iteration, it will say, okay, we have orange. It will store the element storage into the S variable, and then we are printing mango and everything. So assuming that we have, let's see, uh, let's see, I'm creating more element, and then I save it. Can you see this? Apple, orange, pear, mango, apple, orange, mango. So it's just keep going the list until it finishes. Then after the list, the element in the list over, it will quit the loop, and then it will continue to the next line of the coding. Okay, hope you guys can understand that. Just list this. Works perfectly. So here we can try one more thing. So let's say we have total is equal to 0. Then every time there's a set total plus equal 1. So every time when this when a loop successfully completed, the total will increment one value. Okay? And then we print that value here. Okay? So what happens when I do this? So it says, so the loop is completed 4 times. So apple, orange, pear, mango, 4 times. So how we can use this? So for example, let's make an S3 and release this. Okay. Put a dot. So yes. So let's erase this. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. So what you can do is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you did, you just listed out all the elements in the fruit list in a nicely order. So 1 is equal to apple, orange, pear, mango. So let's say if you have 100 fruits over here, and then it will list out 100 fruits. nicely. Okay, so this is the first type of loop in Python, for loop in Python. The next that we are going to look is uh, for range. Let's say for range. And then what we're going to look through is the numbers. So we want to set a particular amount of iteration in the loop itself. So the loop will continue only for that particular number. Let's say you want the loop to continue for 10 times. So the loop will continue for only 10 times, like that. So how to do that? So as usual for foreign, yes, variable for number. So this we are creating a variable and then in range. Then we're going to say 0, 9. Then colon and just say print. Okay. So what we did is we created a variable and then we set a particular number of times for the loop to iterate. So the loop continued for 9 times and then it quit the loop. So it's just simple. I hope you guys can understand that. Yeah, I hope that's a question. Another thing that we can do so for say 1, then you want to continue until 9. Also, you want to step through uh, +2. So, okay, clear example. So we started at 1 and then we asked the program to step over 2 numbers. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 2, 7. And then the 9 is not included. Okay, until 9, not equal to 9. So yeah, that's it. So we can test this 4 number in range like we did over here to total numbers. So for example, let's see total is equal to zeros. And range. Let's say you want to count from at 1. Let's say you want to count from 1 until 100. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus until 100. So how do you do that? So we want to say 1 until 101. The last number will not be included. So we say 101 and then we want to start from 1, right? So the first number will be included in the and then total. And we want to gain. So what it does? First, we created a variable called total2 is equal to 0. The reason I get total2 because you already have another variable called total over here. You cannot simply repeat uh, variables for two different cases. Let's say if you want to use the same variable for same purpose, then it's okay to keep declaring new variable. But then if you want to use it for different situation, then use separate variables. And yeah, so we create another variable and then we say create another variable for number and then in the range 1 until 101, then just click adding. So I think it will get 50-50. Oh, sorry, it's a mistake over here. Yes, we got the number 50 because I didn't put that was my mistake. But then, yeah, mistakes happen in programming, but you just have to solve it. That's the challenge of programming. So I hope you guys can understand loops for in loop for list and for in loop for arrays. So if any question you guys can ask now because now we will do the password generator project. I assume there's no question. So value is new. 5. Comments. Generator. So we have successfully prepared another 5. I just want to demonstrate the project before we do, so that you get get the idea what we're going to do. So I'll just go folder, then going to CMD. So the command prompt is open at the directory that we want. So we say Python. So welcome to the password generator. How many letters would you like in your password? I say I want only I want 3 letters to be in my password. And then how many symbols would you like? So symbols, the sense, the exclamation mark, at, hash, dollar sign, percentage, and everything. So I say 3 also. And then how many numbers do you like? I want 3 numbers also. So this is the password generated. As we requested, there's 3 letters, H, G, K, and some capital letters, some lowercase. And then as we requested, we have 3 numbers, 2, 8, 0, and then we have 3 symbols also, exclamation mark, uh, percentage, and then 10%. Okay, so this is how we do. And also notice that if I make again, so 3, 3, 3, the position of the symbols, numbers is also randomized. So that's the challenge of this project. So first, what we'll do is we'll make a password generator that will stay in the same place. For example, if here 2, here also we'll have numbers. First 3 position. So for the first next 3 position, we'll have the symbols. For the next 3 position, we'll have the symbols. So statically decided where the numbers will count, where the symbols will count, where the letters will count. But here we are randomizing everything. So that's what we're going to build. And so let's see how to build that. So since we are using the same library called random for this project also, because we want to randomize the orders, and then we want to select certain values of random letters, random symbols, random numbers only. So we'll import the library called random. Okay, it's random. And I just want to copy and paste the password generator. Okay, everything's good. So I give you guys some time for you guys to uh, type out everything here, letters, numbers, and symbols. Maybe I'll wait Or I can just put it in a chat box like stop. Okay, I think I already set the variables for letters, numbers, and symbols to save some time for us. Why not? Okay. So I'll just wait 1 minute, maybe, for you guys to declare the variable, declare the list for each letters, numbers, and symbols. So you guys realize there's A, B, C, E until Z, and there's also capital letters. So we have combined everything into a list, then we have set that into letters. And then we also have numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and symbols. Okay. Okay, done. A successfully created list of letters, numbers, and symbols. And let's again run this. You have to see what they're asking. So they're asking for welcome to Pi password generator. So that's they have printed this comma string, so we can do that also. So we can do string welcome to generator. Okay, and then it's asking for input. So we need to- so the program asking for 3 inputs. So we'll do that. So, uh, number of letters is equal to uh, say so, so the enter what it will do is once it out it, it gives this output, it will go to the next line. For example, you realize here it's asking the letter in the new line. What if I don't put this? It's asking here. What if I put the enter? Okay, same. So I will do that for letters, numbers. Save that. Right. So two. Okay. Success. And also your new password. We can also do that. Okay. When you realize, like, so it's giving a new password. So there's a print second over here, and also there's a password over here. So we need to create variable for the password for us to save the password in our program, and also to display that in the console. So you just create a password. Password is equal to, there's no string in it because we didn't randomly taken all the values over here. Then we just add that. That's how we do it. So for now, no string into password. Then we can say print pass. And I just make it. I mean, we have string since both of it is. So desktop. Okay, everything worked. Now we want to work on logic. Okay, what we're going to do is now we are getting input from the user. So let's say user say 3. So we want to run our loop for 3 times. So every 3 times the loop runs, we select a letter randomly from the list. Do you guys understand? So let's say the user type 10. So the number of numbers he wants is 10. So we want to use that variable to limit the loop, so that every time the loop runs, we want to randomly select a number and we want to put it into the password. Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is say for some character. This is just a variable, so you can name it anything. Range. Why range? We want to limit. We want the loop to run for certain number of times only. So for example, here we say 1 until number of letters plus 1. The reason why we plus 1, because when we learn this, that's this. Okay, when you want to count from 1 until 100, we say 101 because the last number will not be included. So we don't want, let's say the user choose, if the user choose 3, but then we run the loop for 2 times only. We don't want to do that. So that's why we plus 1. Okay, and then we say random data, random variable. And then now we want to choose random element from the list. So how do we do that? We use random module, and then inside random list, we want to use a function called choice, and then we want to put the list into that function. So choice, our the word over here function. You guys can see this documentation from here. So random choice return. So random choice, it returns a k size of elements in population with replacement. So what it does is it randomly select a element and then it will return that value into a variable. I mean, not variable, it will just return that value. So our task is to get the returned value and then put it inside the variable. That's why I created a variable called random letter. And then we use the random module to access a function called choice. And then we put the uh, list called letters into that. And then every time a word selected, we want to add that into password. So equal to plus equal to random letter. is this? Sorry, I'm just running out of time. Okay. Four, four, four. Okay, they successfully selected randomly 4 letters from the list using a random choice function in random module, and can just avoid. What we can do is we don't really need this random variable, you see, because we can just say password and increment this. So let's move this. So I just saved one line. What I did was uh, I didn't really create a variable. So what this loop doing is using choice function in a module called random, and then it will return a randomly selected letter into, and then it will return right. That letter will get added to the password string. So that's how it works. So what I can do is I can just uh, you see letters right. Okay. So your new password. Okay. You have successfully created a password generator, but with uh, the password that generated still vulnerable because hackers can just they can just identify, okay, the first 4 letters is letters, the next 4 is the numbers, the next 4 is the symbols. So what they can do is they just brute force the first with the numbers, and then because the possibilities are getting uh, smaller and smaller. So I hope you guys can understand what I'm going to say, what I'm trying to say. So if they will just test for these 4, they will just brute force it and guess, and then they will just test for these 4, and then they will just test for these 4. So the possibilities are getting smaller for the hackers to brute force and then get to know your password. So what is the best way for us to generate password? We also need to randomize this order. So how we can do that? Uh, so I'll just make this newly created uh, string into a list. So how we can do this? So uh, say I create a new password list or password random equal to, we want to make this string we want to make this string into a list. So we just say list, then we pass the argument which is uh, password, and then if I print that password random, sorry. Okay, so we have created a string over here, and then we have successfully made that string into a list. Okay? And then, as I teach you guys before this, we want to get to know the length. Because what we can do, we can just add all these and then make a total is equal to nr letters, nr numbers, nr symbols for us to know how many characters that really the user want. But then what what we're going to do is just test for the length. So let's say pass length and password. So, four. Okay, 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 12. And then we have successfully uh, found out the length. And then now we want to execute a function, okay, called random shuffle. Normally, there will be some kind of functions for us to know, like because we cannot remember all the functions that they have written for a random module. So normally what you guys can do is okay, simply Google search. Okay, search how to randomize a data from list in Python. Simply just search that. But then you need to have the idea for yes, okay. Okay, how we can randomize the okay, first we need to convert it to a list. And then we need to check, okay, do we have to Python have any function to make the list randomized? So it may have, you didn't know. So you just type it out in Google, and there will be other developers who will definitely help you. And then here shuffle the list. So you can still find some Python random shuffle. Okay, what it is shuffle a list. So we have a list over here, and then random or shuffle my list. Then list. Okay, first we had the list called my list, and then inside that list there's three elements called apple, banana, cherry, and then they executed random dot shuffle, and then they passed the argument called my list, and then automatically the random dot shuffle they didn't return any values. What random dot shuffle did it executed a function where the order of the my list changes. It didn't return any value like uh, this. It didn't do any value like random dot choice. That function returns value. But then this random dot shuffle, they did not return any value. It got executed, and then the order of the password leak already changed. Okay, so say new password. You want to create a new password list. Okay, because every time you want to just add that value into that right. So new password is equal to again the string, and then now before that you want to shuffle the list. So random shuffle and then password random. So you can check also slip kill password random. Uh, okay, you see, this is the first order of the Python. Okay, this is the first generated password. And then we converted that string into a list. And then now we randomize the order of the element simply. And then every time you run, there will be a different uh see, there will be different. So first number, right? then just run it. Now we have symbol. Then if I do it again, force S0 hash. Okay. Now the challenge for you guys, I'll wait maybe 10 minutes. What you guys need to do is again like this, to generate a new password. And then after maybe, yeah, I'll just give 5 minutes because it's just code of 2 lines, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, spend 5 minutes and then I'll continue from that. Okay, I'll just continue. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the randomized array into the new password. Okay, so we can do this. Use for password random, and then password equal to your, sorry. So we don't need to use f string because it's just string. So just say so sum is going. If you want to pick successfully create a new password, and all these main function comment it out. So this four, four, four. Yeah, this is the generated password. And I'll say four. Yes, I successfully created a password generator for you, and then you want to make it look cool, you guys can learn Tkinter, another library. So say this is another library for you to make a graphical user interface, and then you guys can learn properly, and then you guys can make a desktop application for Pi password generator. And then if you have time, and then if you guys can give more support to our event, then we'll definitely do another workshop for the Tkinter workshop, and then hopefully you guys can join that program to know how to create a desktop application for using Python. So that's all for today. there's two more modules, which is function and while loop. But since there's no time, and then we had a lot of complaints last stop, there's no punctuality for event. So we would like to rectify that problem. And then, yeah, I assume that I finish my session punctually. That's all from me. I pass it to Sean.
Right. Thank you, Nala, for that session. Tidy all sessions as much as possible. So we will open the floor for Q&A session. So if you have any questions about anything that you learned, it's 2 hours. Now's the time. Ask either through the chat box or you can unmute your mic. Nala will be here to answer. Little bit of time, so I'll just give you all some few minutes to review your code. If you have any questions, yeah, you can ask Nala. Can you hear me? Yeah. So if you have any questions after you have reviewed your code programs that you've learned in the last 2 hours, please don't be afraid to ask any questions.
Question, guys. I think there's no question, so I think we can get into the next.
Right? If there are no questions. Okay, so this is our community channel, USM campus. So if you'd like more updates on our activities and what we're up to, it is highly recommended that you join the channel. See if there's anything else you'd like to learn. And if you generally just like updates from this semester, we will be conducting a few more workshops because we are committed to spreading STEM knowledge as best as possible. So yes, joining the channel will be the best way to know that. So let's give you all a minute to scan possible. Okay, so one. Right, so this is our next event. Like your ideas, typically to create a t-shirt. All students. So you can register. My CSD is provided. You can participate. And there are also cash prizes to the first, second, and third places of the contest. You have to be one again, so it's a very good investment of your time and money, in my opinion. So yeah, you can scan here to register. you'd like to. It's a shorter time. Okay, if you want the QR code, you can just let us know as well. Okay, so yes, this might be the way to know. The attendance and feedback form for everyone to fill in their attendance. Please do give some feedback as well. So we'd like to improve quality of our presentation events as much as possible. Some time to scan QR code.